Well, how do, y'all? So, yeah, as we get into the fall, I tend to drink more bourbon, more whiskey, some Irish, some bourbon. I even dabble in Scotch a time or two, but I'm primarily an Irish whiskey or a bourbon drinker. I'm going to read just a touch from the bottle of this Jim Beam Devil's Cut here. As bourbon ages, some of it evaporates. This is the Angel Share, and it's gone forever, but a richer, full-flavored bourbon stays trapped in the barrel wood, and we've found a way to extract it. This is the Devil's Cut. Well, that's how they get their name for this bold bourbon. It's a 90-proof bourbon. Stay. Stay, I ran a professional show, man. Yeah. I'm gonna do this two ways for you for the purpose of this video demonstration, whatever you want to call it. I do like this Devil's Cut, and because it is bold, and it is a relatively inexpensive whiskey. It generally runs between $20 to $25 a bottle. I did find it on sale at a store, and a lot of places will put it on sale for about $19, 18 and high change. But I found it for $15.97, $16. So for that price, I'm going to buy it all day long. I've had folks that don't like this say it's too bold, it's too oaky. I won't deny that. It is very bold, it is very oaky, it is very woody. That is the nature of this beast. But that is what I like about it, to be honest. It does give you a lot of flavor. It isn't the smoothest. It isn't the smoothest out there. But again, that's not what it's intended to be. What I've done here is I've poured a jigger, 1.5 ounces neat. And I'm going to add just a touch of water. For this particular, I'm going to add just about a capful of some bottled water I have here. Now, some folks don't like the addition of water to whiskey, but I've had a lot of experts. I've even been at some tastings where they recommend you doing that because it will bring out the nose. It will bring out some flavors that aren't there, and it does, especially for a whiskey like this that is so big and bold. Now, generally, I'm a neat drinker, and this is certainly a bourbon that, it may be too much for some, but for me, I don't have any issues drinking it neat. I actually had some last night in some eggnog. I poured 2 shots, actually, in a glass of eggnog, in a rocks glass with eggnog, and that was just beautiful. Unfortunately, I drank less eggnog, so I can't do that for you. But I'm going to serve this another way today, and I've got it's a Sprecher beer glass, but it is the shape of a small highball glass. So for the purposes of this demonstration, this is not typically how I drink bourbon personally, but I'm going to demonstrate the old school highball. Now typically, here I've got 1.5 ounces. Goes about to that line right there. Now if you're at a bar, they'd fill this up with ice, so it looks like you're getting actually about this much whiskey. I don't do ice. I've got an ice phobia kind of thing. We don't have time to discuss all my neuroses, so I'm just going to put some 7-Up in here. And this would have been an old school highball. You don't hear that term much anymore. Bartenders, I guess younger bartenders don't use the term highball anymore. A highball was typically, one spirit and one mixer. Whiskey and 7 is a highball. 7 and 7 would have been a highball. Bourbon and Jack and Coke would have been a highball. Are you following me? It's one of those things, all highballs are cocktails, not all cocktails are highballs kind of thing. Now, you can do this with a bourbon like this because it is so big and bold. For me, this is too sweet, but I'm going to drink it anyway because I'm not going to waste anything. As a younger drinker, though, when I first started drinking, this is how I drank it. And then I moved to drinking bourbon and soda. And then it just became bourbon on the rocks. Then I became an Irish whiskey drinker for a long time, but then I started gravitating back towards small batch bourbons. It is refreshing. I suppose that there is a place for a drink like this. Again, I just don't particularly dig the sweetness, but this is the way I prefer to drink it, especially in the evenings. It's my fireplace kind of drink. Typically I might drink some other bourbons, but for a relatively low price whiskey, this really is fine, and especially if you like big bold flavors. This one's for you. Again, it's not going to be the smoothest whiskey you ever had, but it is going to give you some flavor. So I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer, drinking some Devil's Kid. I'm the Whiskey Whisperer tonight.